Hey guys, we're here today to show you how to properly bind your Dynam eRazor 450 helicopter. We have an eRazor 450 here and the transmitter. Now we get a lot of concerns, complaints, questions regarding how to pair the transmitter with the receiver. The purpose of this video is to show you how to do that. Now things you want to check before you try to pair it is your transmitter. You want to make sure it's all set properly, all the dip switches are correct, trims and joysticks are correct. And then while you pair it, you want to pay attention to the gyro light and the receiver light down here. So first off, let's look at the transmitter. You want to make sure that the toggle switches are facing away from you. So if I was holding the transmitter in my hand, it would be facing down or away from me. If you're looking at it from there, they're facing back towards me. You want to make sure your trims are centered. Your horizontal trim tabs, center those. Vertical trim tabs centered. I like to put the throttle trim all the way down. These dials I put at 12 o'clock because they're off. If you read your manual, you'll know that if you turn them on to adjust these settings, you would turn each individual one on. For example, if I want to adjust my pitch trim, I would turn this on and then I would turn these two knobs. Once I set the trim, then I'd turn it off to save it. Same thing for the exponentials. If I want more exponential movements, turn it on, adjust the dials, then turn it off. Same thing for the rudder. If you want it to be in headlocking mode, turn it on, turn this dial more than 50%, adjust this, turn it off to save it. Your dip switch settings from left to right, the factory dip switch settings are up, up, down, down, and the rest up. That is your factory dip switch settings on this transmitter. You definitely want to make sure this transmitter is set properly before you plug the battery into your chopper. That will eliminate any problems and it taking off. So once you have that set, we're going to look at your chopper. Make sure you read your manual before you do this, but once you're done reading it, you want to make sure everything's right. I'm going to show you something that happens to a lot of customers. They turn on the transmitter, plug the battery into the chopper, and the gyro light is doing this. It's flashing red and blue. Once it's flashing red and blue, you need to restart the initialization process. If it's flashing red and blue like that, it's too late. The Dynam 2.4 GHz system uses an automatic ID assignment. What that means is it will automatically search for a code. And once it searches for a code, it'll lock onto a specific code. Now, if it's flashing red and blue like that, that means the gyro is not going to initialize, it's not going to find the code. So what you want the gyro light to be doing is to go solid red and then solid blue. Your receiver light down here should also be solid red. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the transmitter. You're going to notice these bars, it's going to be flashing rapidly. Once it's flashing rapidly, I'm going to plug the battery into the chopper and this should go solid red. If it doesn't, I'm going to unplug the battery and re-plug it up again. The goal that I want here is for this to be solid red and then go solid blue. So let's start that. Notice how it's flashing. Plug this in. Solid red. Now it's flashing red and blue, so that means I failed. So I'm going to unplug the battery, plug it back in. Solid red. Solid blue. Wait until the beeping's done. And then I'm going to test my swash plate controls with the right joystick. Right goes right, left swash plate goes left, forward back. I have swash plate movement. I have gyro movement. Now you're going to notice that you're not going to have any throttle. Why doesn't my throttle work? Well, if you read the pamphlet that comes in the box, you'll notice that it tells you this gear switch up here is a safety switch. You want to flick that switch forward. Make sure it's the gear switch, not the flight mode switch. Flip the gear switch forward, then back, then you will have throttle control. Okay guys, so that's what you need to do to get your eRazor 450 up and running. So let's do a recap. You always want to make sure you check your transmitter before you start your chopper. Check the dip switch settings. Up, up, down, down, the rest up. Check your trims and your joysticks and your toggle switches up top. Make sure they're facing away from you. Then you want to pay attention to the receiver light down here and the gyro light up here. Once you turn it on, you're going to get a flashing light. Once that's rapidly flashing, plug the battery into the chopper. If the gyro light starts flashing red and blue, unplug the battery, plug it back in. What you want is a solid red light on the gyro, and then it's going to turn solid blue. So there it is, guys. That's how you properly pair your eRazor 450. Make sure you read the manual thoroughly, understand the chopper before you fly it, and that should be it. Thanks for watching, guys.